and we covered Ich komme.
Yes. Everyone was covered in Komme.
You're literally just doing best of last week.
They worked really well last week. I think they'll probably work pretty well again this time. I'm Charlie Sohn, a screenwriter and journalist.
I'm Agnes Reese, a pop singer and songwriter.
And this is Mysteries of the EuroVerse.
On this episode, we're diving into the Eurovision class of 2025.
First, we talk to the breakout Eurovision queen of social media, Sissal, whose song Hallucination will represent Denmark in Basel.
Then, we talk to Albania's Shkodra Elektronike and explore the long history of the musical tradition highlighted by their song Zjerm.
Finally, we sit down with EuroVerse returning guest Pixie Aventura to tackle a wide variety of the songs that will be showcased at this year's Eurovision.
We take a look behind the scenes at all the scandal songs and queens. So come along as we traverse all the mysteries of the EuroVerse. All the mysteries of the EuroVerse.
We are here with another episode of Mysteries of the EuroVerse, and we finally have interviews from this year's Eurovision contestants.
We were thinking of how do we cover the season without us just talking about 37 songs?
Yes, which is what we do in our everyday lives.
Yeah. This year we're doing a little different, delving into these songs either through topics, through interviews, or through games.
Yes, 100%. If you think about sort of how we've talked about Eurovision 2025, a lot of it has been these dueling impulses that the contest has. The idea that a country can bring something that really represents its national culture, and then also the impulse of the contest to sort of bring really high-powered global pop to the Eurovision stage. And our two interviews today represent, I think, the sort of different poles of that balance.
To start out with, we have the social media queen of Eurovision 2025.
Yes.
This first interview is with Sissal,
yes,
who's representing Denmark with Hallucination.
One of the things that I really like about Sissal is that she does not have the super careful media-trained approach to interviews.
As JJ, the representative of Austria, said during a live to Sissal, is your management on here?
Small updates since this interview. You'll hear Sissal mention that she's working on a new staging for her Eurovision performance. You know, there was some criticism of the staging of the national finals performance.
She said on her social media, go off, girl, give us nothing.
Right. But we've since actually gotten some information about what that restaging is going to look like. It will feature a ton of fabric, simulating the feeling of hallucinations. It will feature a costume change and more dancing, though probably not for Sissal herself.
Yes, that she will talk about. But before we get to the interview, let's take a listen to the song. This is Sissal representing Denmark with Hallucination. We are here with Sissal, who will be representing Denmark at Eurovision 2025 with the absolute banger Hallucination. Sissal, welcome.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Can you talk a little bit about your relationship to Eurovision and also Junior Eurovision growing up?
I started watching the junior version when I was I think 5 or 6 years old. And I so firmly remember Dino Yellowstick with Tisimuya, like my first crush ever. And then I remember my parents watched Eurovision. For example, when the Olsen brothers won.
Fly on the wings of love, fly, baby, fly.
I remember how happy they were because nobody expected them to win at all. Because they were these two older guys who were like in their 40s, and everyone was like, what just happened? And we're hoping for that this year. No, I'm kidding. But
You stop it.
yes, have it. No, I'm kidding. So because I am a musician, I think it's much more fun than, for example, watching X Factor. I don't watch those shows because in the Eurovision, it's their own songs. They are artists. A lot of them have been artists for a lot of years before submitting to Eurovision. We always had a party when there's Eurovision and have some games with it as well. So you have to come with traditional food from the country that you think is going to win.
They'll have to make like a drinking game that anytime they see your face on screen, they have to drink.
Or every time I say hallucination, everyone will be batshit drunk. one, like listening to the one song one time and they will all be drunk. And that's like very Danish as well.
Was that purposeful in the songwriting?
Yeah, exactly. Because listen, Danish people, oh my God, alcohol culture.
Yeah.
And for me as well. So I might be drunk on stage. No, I won't. I won't be.
Incredible.
Now, can you talk a bit about how you came to music?
I started singing before I even talked. My mom said that at least. Maybe she's lying. Who knows? But I was born with the talents, she said. Because there's not a lot of musicians in my family. So the way that I got into the Faroese music industry was through some musicals that I was in. And I met an ex-boyfriend who was from a very musical family. It wasn't a band. They played for me, basically. So they helped me like develop songs. It was me as an artist and they like played under because I didn't know how to make music alone. I didn't produce yet. Now I do. And so everything that I recorded to start with was basically like live studio instruments in a studio. But I always have been drawn to like EDM and electronic pop and Scandipop in that genre. So when I moved to Denmark, it was amazing because there's a lot of producers in Denmark. There's not a lot of electronic producers in the Faroe Islands. The Faroe Islands has a more organic sound, which is also amazing. I think I found my genre. And also like my ex-boyfriend and the ones in the band, they are always like, that is definitely you. Because I always tried like making it more electronic. And they were like, no, very jazzy dudes, like very, let's make some surprises. And I'm like, no, God, stop it. I just wanted to sound so electronic.
Talking about the Faroe Islands, you've said that really you're representing two places. You're representing Denmark and the Faroe Islands.
Growing up in the Faroe Islands is completely different from growing up in Denmark. It's more small villages. The island culture is completely different because you don't have to call your neighbor to go and knock on their door and like, hey, do you have some sugar? You can run on the street without being afraid of being kidnapped. You can also do that in Denmark, basically. But in the Faroe Islands, there's not a lot of criminality. And the music industry as well is completely different. You can either go like the jazzy way or the classical way. And if you're not born in one of the musical families, it's very hard to get in the music industry, I feel like. So I basically got through with going to musicals. But yeah, growing up, it definitely shaped me into knowing what kind of music I don't want to do. Not because it's bad, it's just not me. I'm definitely representing two cultures. I see my family almost more than a lot of my friends that live in Denmark that have families like living 20 minutes away. And I see mine that live like 2 hours in a flight and like 3,000 kroners as well. A lot more because we're very close. It has definitely shaped me into being this. I think I'm humble. Can you say that yourself that you're a humble person? Is that?
I think you can pull it off.
I think I am a very humble person because if I came home thinking that I was like too good, they would be like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like I didn't curse there. I stopped there.
I will say you may have decided to move away from musical theater, but I do want to hear your version of "There Are Worse Things I Could Do."
Oh yes, and I'm such a Rizzo as well. Like
you really are a Rizzo.
I could never be Sandy. Like I tried.
Who wants to be Sandy though?
I would like to be her only because she had a lot more solos, and I like the spotlight with like singing. And I'm like, give me those solos. I tried being Sandy, and I was like, hey, Donnie, and it was like, stop, girl. I'm just not cute enough for that. I would definitely play Ursula in The Little Mermaid. I'm just a very bad actor. That's my issue. Like it's not it's not even like trying to be like, oh no, tell me. No, I'm very bad. My musical director, he was sometimes, you know what? You got the voice. That's why you have this role. That's what he basically said. I'm like, I get that. That's so true. That's so true. I'm very self-aware and I know like I'm a very good vocalist. I'm a very bad actor. That's just the way it is. And a very bad dancer, obviously. Have you seen my performance? Like, it's just not my thing. So, yeah. basically.
Listen, I think the humble is
Yeah. You're
proven.
getting a lot of humble points right now. Speaking of your family, they don't have a musical background, but your mom's an artist, right?
She's a glass artist. She makes cold glass.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So I have very creative family, very creative,
Yeah.
but not a music artist. So
No. Yes. No.
Yeah.
Totally. But what did you learn about creativity from her?
I mean, I think growing up in my household, my mom and dad have always been like, there's not like this traditional role with how women and men do things. Like I have built my inbuilt shelves and stuff. Like I have my own wardrobe. She has showed me how to put on tiles, on floors, on walls. So like mom has always been a badass when it comes to those things. And my father has always been also, both my mom and dad have always tried to focus on the things that I'm good at. So I'm horrible at math. And they were like, you know what? You can do a lot of other things. So they have always like pushed me doing things that I'm good at. And that has always also given me like this kind of belief in myself. It's kind of funny, like with guys, if someone isn't in love with me, I'm like, they're gay. It's okay. Like definitely, there's no other reason. There's no possibility that they're just not attracted to me. I'm like, they're probably gay, and then we could be friends. It's good. Like,
You'll be the only Eurovision artist this year that if your set piece breaks, you'll just get out your tools and fix it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Literally, in the DMGP finals, my shoe literally broke. Like the whole heel broke off. And I have sprained my foot so bad and it hurt like shit. And I pulled some other shoes up. They were ugly. They did not fit the outfit at all. But you know what? They were there and we did what we had to do. I don't panic a lot when it comes to realistic things. I panic about unrealistic things. But
What's your big unrealistic fear?
I have always had like a lot of anxiety and OCD when I was younger. So it's literally like there's a shark in the pool. I'm like, that's definitely true. Like that, and it's so unrealistic. I have always have this like afraid of being like all of a sudden like going psychotic. If I get like some kind of symptoms that I'm like, oh shit, it's happening. Like it's so unrealistic.
Waiting for that break. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's basically impossible. But I'm like, but maybe I'm the first one.
Has being a mother yourself changed or shaped your artistic perspective?
Yeah, it definitely has. Because when I was younger, I was so freaking anxious about life. So your life has been planned out until high school, after like college. Now it's your turn to do something with your life. I completely panicked. I didn't know what to do. So I basically became a mother because that was like, then I have some things to do. Like like something is planned out for me. And I'm much more calm now with like not everything being planned out. And also, not that I get a lot of hate, but that just comes with being an artist. I don't think I would be able to handle it that well when I was younger. I think I would be an emotional wreck if I got those comments that I gotten like this year. Now I'm not even trying to play cool, but it doesn't give me any negative thoughts about myself. So I think like being a mom, it basically made me wait until I was older. And being older for me was definitely great, but it has been very hard when it comes to meeting new record labels and managements. Because when you're a woman, people are like, oh, your career is over when you have children. Nobody asks a man about that, unfortunately. But I think like sometimes I have had this feeling of, oh, it's annoying that I started this late because I have a lot of other responsibilities now. But those responsibilities keep me so much more grounded. I love coming home to like making freaking sandwiches for my children and just living this unglamorous life after feeling like a pop star into these pre-parties, like where everything is getting done or handed to you. While I'm at home, my children don't give a shit who I am. They're like, just give me some snacks.
I just wanted to talk a little bit, just briefly, about your EP. Can you talk about how that album came about? It seems like you wrote the songs mostly in collaboration with Christian Core.
Yes, and Max. So Max, yeah, Max,
So
Max co-wrote it.
Oh, because I saw Max on Hear Me Now, the song.
Yes.
Hear me now. You won't hold me down.
He also, was he on the other songs as well?
Yes, he's on every song, and he co-wrote all the songs, and he was also in this year's DMGP, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
When we started working together, we made Hear Me Now. We tried getting it through the DMGP last year, and it didn't get through. So after that, they were so amazed by my vocals that they were like, we want to work with you more. And so we had like this, what references do I use? Who is my inspiration? What kind of songs do I like? What do I want to do? So we basically came down to like, I really love upbeat tempo songs. And I know a lot of people get so not mad, but maybe a little bit sad about it because they think like I have a very ballad kind of voice. And I definitely do. I get that. And I have made a ballad that I'm looking forward to releasing after this Eurovision. But I definitely wanted like more of an upbeat tempo song because I love being myself at concerts where I can dance and shake my flat ass. So it was like, you thought I was going to say fat ass, but it's not that fat, unfortunately. But it was
working on it, you know?
No, exactly. I'm definitely listen a lot to like Swedish pop and like Scandipop overall. So like Downy from Norway, Secret from Norway, Robin from Sweden. It has this specific sound that I love. One day, for example, we took like our sunglasses on and we were like, we're doing Swedish today. So the whole process of it was actually making an album that was, of course, a personal story of mine with all of the songs. I feel like Hear Me Now is DMGP coded. And then we have like Deep End, which is very Swedish and from Far From Sober.
I like my wine dry, but tonight I'm not. So baby, dim the lights, give me all your love.
You brought up Robin. Far From Sober really has a very Robin feel to it.
Yeah, it was basically a process of like doing this upbeat kind of EP where I wanted to do some, I basically for the gays, actually.
Well, and we're very happy you did that for us.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And the first concert that I played with my EP was at Pride. So it was like, yes, I love it.
Perfect. Moving to Hallucination, can you describe writing at the Scandipop songwriting camp? The collaborators on that song include Joy and Linnea Deb and Melanie Webb. How did you work together to create the song?
At the camp, it was me, Lena, and Chris and Malte was like put in a room, and we had like these restrictions, like you have to do at least 140 BPM and it has to be upbeat. And Linnea and Melanie and Marcus were like mentors on the camp.
Oh, cool.
So they were basically the ones who were like, you can always call in and being like, can you listen to our song? Do you have some notes? And they came in and like showed us some kind of melodies, how we could like play with it and some syllables as well. Those are legends. Like it's such an honor writing with these people because they have like the best ideas. But like the song was basically written in 3 hours. And when we had made that song, we were always like just joking around being like, oh, vote for us, huh? We didn't know that it was going to be like freaking win the whole thing, not even like being submitted. And it wasn't even supposed to be me singing the song. We were there to write for other artists. We were like, can I maybe submit it for myself? And he was like, you know what? Yeah, why not? And then the Danish broadcasting heard it and they were very impressed.
Recently, you've talked about revamping the staging for Hallucination. Can you talk about what that process has been like? And I saw somewhere that you had an initial staging idea that featured naked men covered in baby oil.
Yes.
Are we going to see that with the revamp? Is that?
I wish. No, for me, Eurovision has always been like gay, very naked, and more is more. Like all the things that I love the most, basically. But then I talked to my choreographer and she was like, what focus do we want to have on the song? And that's why we like said that's probably not the best way to go. Also, when we saw like Ollie, even if I loved it, people were very like offended by it somehow. I don't know why, but they were. The thing is, we have basically changed the whole thing. There is nothing left from the old staging. And I know that a lot of people are afraid because they have been like, yeah, they told that us last year. And basically the only thing that changed was like a bigger platform or something. So that's definitely not in our case. But we also have to remember a lot of countries have a lot of money. We don't. But what we chose to do was focusing on stage presence and my vocals being like the in front and center. And how do we somehow visualize hallucinations? I can reveal one thing, and that is I'm not just having one outfit on stage. I'm having an outfit change. My outfit is completely different colors. We have completely different visuals. My first performance was very like rave kind of colors. Okay. We're not going in that direction at all. And we're having also elements and more dancers as well that somehow elevate the feeling of hallucinations. I think a lot of people are like expecting me to basically do the same with an hella empty stage and some hands on my face. Like that's not happening. There's no hands on my face.
You've been in touch with Riley about the contest. Can you talk about how that friendship formed and what some of the advice you've gotten from him has been?
I met Riley in my second musical in Greece. When I asked him if I should be in this year's DMGP, he was like, why not? He knows what I'm capable of. The only thing that he, for example, was sad about was that it went so badly with his vocals, because he is actually a great singer. I know that a lot of people are like, no, yes, he actually is.
That song with the like constant flip up into his head voice is like
Oh, yes.
the
It's
most
a hard song.
comforting as a live performance to do.
Yeah.
And with the vocoder harmonies in the back, like,
Yes. I think that saved him, like the vocoder. That's what he said, because it was so loud. He said there was a lot of things that happened that was not optimal, or how do you say it? He's like, you don't need to try and overthink anything. Just do what you do best, and that's it, because that's enough for you.
that's amazing. And I think that's actually an amazing place to wrap this up. Sissal, thank you so much.
Thank you so
such
much.
huge fans of the song and of you, and we cannot wait to see you in Basel.
Thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure meeting you guys.
EuroVerse.
So then we're moving to our second interview.
Yes.
This is with Shkodra Elektronike, who are the representatives of Albania this year. And they're a really interesting dynamic, how they both connect to the same little town and kind of found each other through looking at their musical roots, essentially.
Yeah, 100%. And Cole, who is the producer, he is part music producer and part like music historian. And I was just really blown away at his ability to kind of trace the influences in their music to everything from like the Ottoman Turks invading Albania to migration from Shkoder, the small town they're both from, out to Venice.
No, it's so fascinating to see how you cannot tell the story of the type of music they do without telling that history.
And I will just say on a personal note, there's no vibe that I like better than someone who is kind of like brilliant and academic, but also just like loves talking about how much rakia he drinks and pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking.
Yeah, and he's the history teacher I needed in high school.
Yeah, I think I might have had that history teacher. I think that
Well,
that set me
why
off on a very interesting path.
That's why you know a lot.
That's why I drink a lot.
So before we head to the interview, let's take a listen to Shkodra Elektronike with the song Zjerm. We are here with Shkodra Elektronike, who will be representing Albania with the song Zjerm. Beatrice and Cole, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. Can you talk about your musical backgrounds and how this collaboration came about?
I started singing as a child because my family is full of singers. And I started writing songs before the adolescence time because I heard some albums like Homogenic of Bjork or PJ Harvey. And I thought, I want to play my own words. I want to sing my own words. And then I tried a lot of genres. One day I was just on YouTube searching for a Shkodra song called Turtulesh. This is a very old, beautiful song. I found Cole playing this song with another project called Two Pigeons. And more than everything, I get so touched because I saw one interview of Cole. He was just telling the channel everything about his story, you know, musical story and immigrant story. So I just wrote him a message to say to him, thank you for what you're doing. And then Shkodra started.
So you were playing in all these Western bands. Growing up, what was your relationship to Albanian music or Shkodra?
The traditional music of Shkodra is like family memories. When I sing a Shkodra song, it's like to relive something so domestic and something so intimate, you know. So it's more than music for me. It's like the taste of my childhood.
I start from where I was a child, but from the beginning I was trying to make contemporary Balkan music. I played with another band, Il Teatro degli Orrori, is a very famous Italian post-punk band. I started to think how to adapt this experience the musical tradition of Shkoder. And I started to experiment with sampling old Albanian songs with another singer, Italian singer, and I just teached her how to pronounce the Albanian language.
Wow.
And she pronounced very, very well. And then I knew Beatrice she wrote to me, and I discovered that she's a singer from my same city, and I liked the way she sings, the bands where she plays. And we started to make these concerts together, and the thing starts growing really, really fast. Then a pandemic comes.
Now, you've talked about Shkodra Elektronike as post-immigrant pop.
Pop is used in our case like popular, traditional. We don't mean pop like Lady Gaga, pop like popular. Because we started using traditional songs of Shkoder. Immigrant because we are immigrants, and post because we started this thing a lot of years after we came in Italy. So we were not first years of immigration. We were even Italians, even with the citizenship from Italy when we started with this project.
I grew up in Italy, so my relationship with Italy is so intense, because I learned everything here. Of course, at my home, I had the little Albania outside the big Italy. So I always live in the middle from these two worlds. Italy just made me the free woman I am, just because it's more Western. And I had the opportunity to try a lot of things. Maybe in Albania today, I would be a mother or, a wife.
In Italy, all the underground music, you have to be there to watch the bands, because there are not punk bands that go to make tours in Albania. We were in a lot of concerts seeing live music, where we discovered different ways of thinking about music. I do the conservatory for piano. I, in Italy, discovered that to play wrong is good. The wrong notes are the right ones.
Exactly. Talking about the folk music from Shkoder, I read somewhere that you mentioned that there are elements of Persian music, Romani music, Turkish music, and Italian bel canto, you said, right?
Yes. The whole actual Albania fell under the Turkish Empire, especially the city of Shkoder. They all went away in Venice. Okay, so the city was empty, without Albanians. At the beginning of 16th century, the city started to be repopulated by Albanians. So all the tradition of Shkoder is quite recent, is after this period. And being the population mixed between not only Turks, the people who came from the Ottoman Empire, people from Kurdistan, mixed with the Albanians that started to come back. The legend says that these guys took Turkish melodies from Izmir and started to sing these Turkish melodies with Albanian words. Play it with instruments that were being used in the whole Ottoman Empire. And all these instruments were Kurdish, Persian instruments, because most of instruments were born there. Kaval is a kind of Kurdish flute. Saze is a kind of old kind of guitar, but not
like a lute kind of,
like bouzouki. All these instruments are kind of the same, but with small differences between them. The rhythm was made with the spoons.
Oh, really?
Yes, in the ancient time.
That's amazing.
Like country music.
Yeah.
While the time passed, Shkoder started to be reconnected with Italy, especially by the Catholic Church. And they bring the Western instruments. So this flute kaval became a clarinet. The saze became a guitar, acoustic guitar. Then came the double bass. And then came the fisarmonica, the Italian fisarmonica. All these instruments changed a little bit from Italy and a little bit from all the Romani people moving in the whole Turkish Empire.
Right.
The songs of Shkodra are all these things mixed together. My first idea was, why not to add some electronic instruments now?
Yeah, exactly.
All these instruments, all this.
Yeah.
Yes, just one more is not a big deal.
Yeah.
Because in the rest of Albania, far away from the coast, the Italian influence were less.
I guess one of the positives of all of the conquering and
Yes.
independence, you've talked about club music and trance as having parallels in things like Sufi music, right? Like the sort of ecstasy and transcendence that you get from, a Sufi performance can also come from techno or club.
This is more with the new songs that are coming. The electronic music, I always think that has a lot to do with traditional music, with ancient music, this kind of repetitive thing,
Yeah.
That works if it's repeated for a long time. So I always thought that this Sufi, all this playing with this repetitive way, that is really close to the electronic music.
I even think about Norwegian folk music and how it's ritualistic, right? But the first thing you have to do is you have to establish the beat so that everyone can dance to it.
Yes, because clubbing is ritualistic.
Right. It's just we're now doing it with digital lights instead of a fire pit.
Ritual. We all are together in this place, all together. We do a kind of ritual. Taking drugs as well.
I was going to say the same kind of drugs, right?
Yes.
Like these older rituals are hallucinogenic.
There are a lot of parallelism.
Next time I go clubbing, I'm going to just think I'm honoring my ancestors.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you talk about traveling to Albania to record folk music performances?
Just in 4 days, I traveled actually the whole Albania because I don't have a car and I don't have even the driver license. So I called a friend of mine from Shkoder, and he came in Tirana, where I went by plane, and he drove. And I can explain him. I was telling him, for example, left, and he started to go right. And I said, no, left. Right. In Cherovod.
Amazing place.
Beautiful ladies. They went in a bar. Just the bar was not open for the client. And these ladies were very emotional. They started to sing. I recorded them. And then I said, it's enough, it's okay. And then we sit down just drinking and talking, and they restarted to sing. And they say to me, we are singing better now. And actually it was true because they were emotional while I was recording.
Now the youngest people want something different. I don't know, like trap music or things like that. And so many young people came to us and they said us, thank you, because you're doing something magical with the songs that our grandmas or grandfathers always sang.
Can you walk us through your typical collaboration, starting with Cole and then Beatrice, and talk a bit about how and why that flipped for Zjerm?
Usually, Cole sent me some instrumentals, and I put over these instrumentals some words and melodies. Sometimes I have too many, and he has to delete something.
It's not the ladies to keep for the other songs.
The other songs.
Yeah. Save for later.
Yeah, very efficient. That's good.
I have a folder with all the deleted vocals. We changed this workflow. I think because Cole, it doesn't want to work on a new song maybe in the summertime.
No.
Cole, if you could talk a little bit about when you start with the beats, you're using samples from these folk songs, right?
In the whole EP that we will release after the festival, the whole song started from these recordings. if we start in this way, it's necessary I start because I have this support and I manipulate with electronics. But there are not rules for us. It's always what is the first thing that inspires us. Now I'm recording a lot of chifteli, that is this traditional instrument that I bought in Albania. This summer.
Amazing.
That you hear at Zjerm.
Instruments that I don't know how to play, so this is the reason why I play it, because I don't play it.
That's amazing. I love that. So talking a little bit about Zjerm, can you talk about the idea behind the lyric?
The initial idea was just to write a song for the festival, and not to bring the usual song. I don't want to say shitty things, but I just want to tell you that my idea was not to talk about love, not to talk about, love.
Yeah.
It's pretty much most of it, yeah.
Like my ex or something like this. I don't know. I'm not able to do this. It's not so easy to write a beautiful love song. So I started thinking about this simple concept about kindness. I don't know. To be the person that wear this kindness dress. I was thinking about this type of person. And we can choose in our days to wear this dress too. Not to be false, but you can choose to be hungry, crazy, hysteric, or just to choose the kindness and to brave. Okay. And when I sent these lyrics and this melody and the demo to Cole, he of course balanced this thing. The first time I heard them, I was like, oh no, I'm feeling so bad right now. Yeah, it was summer. And I'm looking for this kindness, but I'm looking for summertime too. This version, it was like a, storm in me. And we had a little discussion about this. I just tell him my emotions in my way. It's like, oh my God, I don't understand this part. Why are you so sad? No, please, why you don't do this? And now I can tell that Zjerm, it's a little song for a festival that has like a tunnel behind. Sometimes I go deep in this tunnel and I learn something new every time. We have to imagine and to work to make a better world, but maybe we have to burn everything with fire to restart again.
The words that I say there are not written by me, are written by Lek Giloshi, that is a visual artist from Shkoder, friend of us. This simple thing that is kindness, that is so simple, like all the simple things, is really hard to achieve it. More simple things are, more hard is to achieve it. We wanted to use this traditional instrument.
Yeah.
I knew that there was this mister that sells instruments made by himself in the streets of Shkoder. And I went to buy this chifteli at his place. There was this tree with all these instruments hanging on the tree, but he was not there. Another mister that was selling all the things just beside him, I asked him, where is and he said, hey, he's in the bar drinking raki. And somewhere. It was about 10 in the morning, this thing.
Amazing.
And I just start playing, he will hear you and he will come out. I started with him, and he came, and I asked him, I want to buy the CD, and he said me, 100 euros. And I said, I'm fine with it. And I say to him, I also bought a lahout from you last year. You bought a lahout from me? 70 euros.
That's incredible.
So yes, I bought this chifteli and I recorded it in my bathroom.
Wow.
The sound was good. So this chifteli is going from my bathroom to the Eurovision.
Can you talk about your upcoming album, its relationship to Zjerm in terms of form and sonic landscape?
The difference between Zjerm and the other song is the structure of the song. The other songs are more clubbing, so you have more instrumentals behind the lyrics.
The DNA of the band, is the tradition mixed with contemporary sounds. This is in Zjerm and is in the whole upcoming EP. The structures are different because the shortest song, I think, is about 6 minutes. That comes from 6 to 9 minutes. These songs has not a verse and chorus, has more different structures, longer ones, more trance that you can dance the whole time.
Beatrice, your voguing at the national finals became an instant hit with Eurovision fans. Can you talk about working with the choreographer to develop a language that felt natural to you as a mover?
I just told her about voguing because I love this type of dance. And for me, it's so powerful. It's so geometrical. And of course, I'm not good. And of course, I do the basic stuff of voguing. So sorry, voguing people, for my defense. But I'm so happy that nobody judged me.
Cole's part in Zjerm exists in tension with yours. And Shkodra Elektronike also plays with other tensions, right? You're doing modern and folk, being rooted in Albania versus being rooted in Italy. You guys seem to like to set up these binaries or tensions. Is that a conscious part of your artistic process?
It is intention, and it started from us in a natural way. She made her part that is full of light, and I made my part full of darkness. So she is in this way, I am in this way. And this is the natural part of the thing. The intentional part is to make a coherent all these elements together. The reality has always the two sides, like a Tao. Everything is complex in the real life. Like I said before, the easiest things are the hardest ones.
This has been an absolutely wonderful conversation.
Truly.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And we can't wait to see you on stage in Basel.
EuroVerse.
But it would not be a Class of 2025 episode if we just talked about 2 songs.
Yes.
But also we couldn't fit in 15 interviews in one episode.
The segment that we have coming up is with Pixie Aventura. Pixie is a phenomenal drag queen who you, in addition to seeing on Mysteries of the EuroVerse, may have seen on Hulu's Drag Me to Dinner.
And not just that, was a guest performer at Madonna's concert in Mexico.
Yes, Eurovision connection right there.
Exactly. We designed a game around this idea of the language diversity at Eurovision this year, which is the largest it's been since the language rule.
We went into the segment thinking we were going to simply play a game. Pixie brought her ordered list of every single Eurovision song and her preferences. And I think it turned out to be a very cool conversation, just as far as like interacting with a side of this that we don't normally interact with, I think, which is a lot of what Eurovision is as a competition. You know, super fans, they have their preferences, they have their feelings. And I think there's something cool about a conversation that was very much respectful and uplifting of a lot of these artists, but also delved a little bit more into the sort of comparative preferences.
So let's head on over to this very table with Pixie. In this episode, we're focusing all on Eurovision 2025, so we had to bring back one of our favorite guests from season 1.
I will say this is our first repeat.
That's right.
The only guest who we wanted back.
Thank you.
Amazing Pixie Aventura.
I wanted to be back. I really did. I love this.
And we were sort of talking about this beforehand. One of the tragedies of our previous segment with you is that you are actually a Eurovision expert. And we did not get to take advantage
I didn't know about
of
expert.
the
Okay.
well of Eurovision
Listen,
knowledge
on
that you
American
have.
soil, you are definitely considered a Eurovision
Yes, yeah,
expert.
yeah.
Because most people go, oh, that's a movie, right? Charles Bush said, it's not on TV, though.
No, it's not at all.
No. Yeah.
So the standard is low, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Anytime that I personally hear that a standard is low, that tends to be a space I try to occupy immediately.
Do you want my top 5?
Oh, absolutely.
I would like to make reference, for those of you who are not watching the YouTube, to the 3 pages of organized Eurovision descriptions that we have here in front of us.
Yeah. I've seen TED Talks with shorter scripts.
You were a straight A student? assuming?
I was in the gifted program.
Yeah.
But then I realized
You're
I wanted
giving
to be
those
an artist.
vibes.
But I hated English. I'm an oral person. I didn't know that back then. So I was like, why do I have to read a book and
I've
then
heard
write
that
about
she's
it?
an oral person.
I am an oral person. But my top 5.
Yes.
Number 1 is Spain. Esa Diva by
Oh my
Melody.
God.
Una diva valiente, poderosa, subida a su jardín lleno de espinas y rosas, resurge bailando con más fuerte que un huracán.
What did you think of the revamp?
The song itself is already dramatic. It is talking about a diva. You want it to be opulent. You want it to be like over the top. And I think the revamp surely did it.
Yes.
I agree.
By the way, I am here to be open-minded.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming with an open
These
mind.
vicious fans that are they're like, no, this is my song. And I'm like, well,
You know, you can just call me by name. Like,
Okay.
you don't have to.
Charlie.
I will say, just for our listeners, because we were talking about this beforehand, if anybody has not looked into Melody's full career, I recommend a quick Google of the Gorilla song. It is
we'll throw it in.
transcendent. It's probably playing right now. actually.
yeah. You're probably muted, and the song is playing. Yeah.
Number 2 is Poland, Gaia.
Kiedy płaczę do łza, to nie świat, tule w swych ramionach zaginiony
The song is so Eurovision. She is multi-talented. She's playing an instrument. The breakdown with the guy is really, really good. And it's camp. And it's also very queer-coded. You have the dancers wearing heels.
I have to say, Poland between last year and this year is just like making my life. How did you feel about Luna?
Yeah, no.
The thing is, I loved that song so much.
Yeah, the
that
staging-
staging was
yeah.
insane.
But the horse was so fun. I believe you referred to the Babadook last year for one of the songs.
Yeah.
There was a Babadook in this one too.
Yeah, and then we have Lady Gaga doing a chess game at Coachella.
Coincidence? I think not. I think that girl was taking notes. She was like, who is this Luna?
No,
But-
baby. That was based on Alexander McQueen's.
Alexander McQueen. Now, which country
Nuclear.
did he
Is it
represent in Eurovision?
I really like that song too. And then when she spins around and holds that note for so long.
The microwave.
I mean,
The microwave moment. I love it.
it's amazing. I will say, slightly confused about when she gets raised to the ceiling. She like walks down, grabs the cables, hoists up, hoists back down again. And you were like,
Ironically,
why did we do that?
The reverse of Spain.
I will say those two numbers in
guess
their
I love
staging.
aerial lift.
Yeah. Well, they do it. They're both very extra in the way they're staged, and in a good way. I believe. Like, so I think you've got a real consistency to your top 5.
Well, top 3 changes things up.
Oh.
I think this is my dark horse. Netherlands, C'est la vie, Claude.
Ooh la la.
I think it's a beautifully produced song. You can hear the influences of like all the cultures that he surrounded himself with, and the dancing, like it's so fluid. It's
And
so
did you
good.
see that live performance? He's a great live performer.
Yeah. I just think as a song, because we have to remember that this is a song contest. As a song, it's beautiful. It's so good. It's very well made. The past 4 years, my top 10 have been 80% correct.
I actually think I have the exact reverse.
But also not surprising at all.
Can you just tell me where you have Italy on that list?
La vita è un gioco da ragazzi, me lo diceva mamma ed io cadevo giù dagli alberi.
She's number 16.
I'm in love with Lucio.
Because there's other ones that are just... I felt very neutral about it. It's a classic rock song.
Great
It's
glam rock,
gorgeous.
yeah.
I think the performance is very lacking.
I have nothing against the song, but I feel like in a row of 26 songs, it's gonna be hard to be the standout.
I would make the argument that it's stylistically very different from everything.
No,
else.
that is fair.
And that it does a thing that Eurovision actually never does particularly well, which is actually kind of rock. Like, I have never heard a rock song at Eurovision that I've actually
Charlie's
liked.
very anti the rock.
So I don't consider that rock.
It's glam rock.
It's glam rock, but
it's
not
Bowie.
even.
It sounds like Bowie.
But it's not. There's no point of view in the performance.
There's no point of view in the performance.
We're having another fight between Charlie and Pixie.
This is a song about trying to like live up to like society standards, and then you see this guy who, I don't know, he looks like a ghost. He looks like a queer ghost with like Andy in the Toy Story, like handwriting written on his shoe.
So break through the barrier, break through the wall.
He literally gets up from the piano. He grabs the guitar.
No one's ever done
very
that.
Classic. Well, no, but that's the thing. It's about the quality. Like, is there anything in C'est la vie that has the level of over-the-top maximalism of the first two on your list?
It's unique. But it's unique. The sound is unique.
I would argue that a song called C'est la vie is very hard for...
Well, if you're going off the name, of course.
So number 4.
Estonia. I know there's so much controversy with this song, but this is camp done well.
Espresso macchiato.
I have to say, Tommy Cash really sold me when he released as his like cover John Cage 433, where it like just did not do anything. And I was like, okay, you know what? This I can respect.
The official photo that he submitted to the Eurovision website, on his jacket or whatever, he has a post-it note that says winner of Eurovision 2025. They've done this to a degree before, but like this year it's very consistent. Like everyone is either doing a cover of their own song or someone else's song, and it's released on the Eurovision channel. They're now doing collabs on Instagram with the artists, and in everything that he releases, it's so clear that you're like, this is the same art direction. I feel similarly with Kant. On one of our recent episodes, we have Martin Green on, who's the new head of the Eurovision Song Contest. He goes, it just happened to be that a song otherwise entirely in English, the Maltese word for singing just happened to be the most offensive word in the English language.
Yeah, but I'm like, listen, this Brit is like, cunt is all of a sudden so offensive.
Well,
like, I'm
that's
like,
funny to
has
me.
he been to his own country? Like...
Yeah. I went to college there. And it's like, I feel like Americans are always shocked going to the UK that people just throw away cunt.
Yeah.
Throw away cunt.
Yeah.
One person's cunt is another person's treasure.
Yeah. Anyway, so 5th place.
I'm going to go with the fairies from Latvia.
Yes. This I am so aligned with you on.
Moving to our little game. Okay. The thing about Eurovision 2025 is we'll be featuring the most languages the contest has seen since the language rule was dropped.
We are here to help our English-speaking listeners with a segment designed to introduce the meanings behind some of these Eurovision songs and explore how much of the songs are communicated through the staging and musical tone alone. It's a game we're calling It's All Greek and Lithuanian and French and Icelandic and Montenegrin and Latvian to me. Yeah. Is that good? Did you like that delivery?
I do.
The way this game is going to work is we're going to play one of these non-English Eurovision 2025 songs.
Based on the visuals, you know, what you're hearing, but not capturing the words.
Yes.
What is the song telling you?
Okay.
First up, we have Claudia, who will be representing Greece with Astromata.
The glasses are a big issue for me.
She wants to be able to see the audience. Maybe there's...
Sure.
She's reading the lyrics.
The thing with the dancers, what bothers me of this song is that they literally do nothing with this movement of the music, and it makes me think that they're dead. The way that she's standing there, it seems to me that she's in danger and she's in need of help. These dancers just lying there to me is just like, well, we have to fill 6 people on stage, so put them on there.
Although, to be fair, I actually love a Eurovision number with choreography that I can do.
Just lying there.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly.
walk. You can't walk.
I mean, you've seen me.
So the song explores themes of displacement and is about the refugee experience. Claudia has said, I am connected to the song because my family are refugees, and my grandmother has shared stories from the past that have influenced me. Specifically, Claudia is Pontic Greek, and the song is thought to refer to the Pontic Greek genocide, where 363,000 Greeks from Pontus were murdered and exiled by the Ottoman Turks during World War I.
So
And you got
not
all
wrong that the dancers are dead.
To give you a little insight to the lyrics, my sweet mom, don't you cry, even if they put black clothes on you. My fated body is not defeated by the flames. The swallows of fire, even if they cross the seas, they never forget the soil of their roots.
I can already know what to do visually, like choreography wise.
Oh my God.
Like it starts out.
We'll tag her.
Yeah, no, it starts out
Yeah, wait,
contemporary with like fans blaring with lots of fabric, where it's like, oh, a mother like embracing her.
I see that.
Especially how Greece is known for like the fabrics flowing in the air. Every time
Yeah.
you see a Greek movie, it's like curtains flowing.
The only Greek movie I've seen is the Mamma Mia sequel. But,
Absolutely. And the curtains were flowing.
Great curtains in that one. I do think this is a good thing to add to the game. We need Pixie's version.
Absolutely.
We need
Pixie's
parentheses.
We did this
version.
last in season
I'm
one.
actually remembering it. And you know what? You are the only person we've ever done this with. So we are now moving to Katarsis, who will be representing Lithuania with the song Tavo Akis.
Obviously, this has to do with mental issues, depression. The costumes itself look like they're in straitjackets. There's torment, there's storm, tornadoes. So obviously, it's like the inner battle of like just what's going inside of you and trying to survive through it. My problem with the song is that just because there is lack of emotion, you should not be dead on stage.
I think this is a theme that we're getting. You don't like people dead on stage.
Baby, if you're gonna be dead, be dead.
Be dead. Yeah, there you go. Commit. You were very accurate. The song is very metaphorical, but the opening part talks about this sort of empty meaninglessness, which fuels a fire, which is then later put out by a huge rainstorm from someone's eyes, but then the rain makes the wood rot. So it's this kind of cycle of like trying to fix a bad situation and things getting worse and kind of this sort of like doom loop, which might be a little bit the feeling that you get while listening to the song. Just
Rotting? No.
a bit of a
Song
doom
alone.
loop.
Give me a cube light that's like making everybody.
This is what Sweden understands so well when it comes to staging, is that sometimes when you have a huge stage, confine the person.
I do think had these boys been in a sauna, I would have enjoyed it more.
So now we got Voyage by
Voyage.
Zoe. Oh yeah, sorry.
No,
We
I
got
was joking.
Voyage
wow.
by Zoe Me, which will be representing the country of Switzerland.
That's right.
Zoe Me. I just get confused at how to English.
Zoeme?
How much to Englishify it or
Because
not.
there are umlauts over both E's.
Mes yeux condés découvrent le monde d'une façon naïve à faire confondre les démons de la nuit.
I do remember these lyrics. Beautiful voice from the get-go. It's a beautiful song. Obviously, just from the music video itself, it's being able to step out into the world. Literally, she's trying to cross the street, and there's a hesitation there already. But then I read the lyrics, and it's about darkness and demons. And I'm like, that voice does not connect with that story for me.
I had like kind of a similar experience where I was like, you know, reading up on these songs, and she sort of talks about it as encouraging people to meet hate with love, to allow tenderness, and to recognize the beauty of the moment. And I was like, oh, that sounds nice. And then, like you, I looked at the lyric, and just to give our audience members a little bit of a sample of this, you throw words at me that suffocate me. No matter what, I'll lie next to you tonight. Which, you know, we've all been there. One day you'll understand that flowers are more beautiful when you water them. You've cut me.
Playing with the duality is nice, but her voice doesn't carry that darkness. But if the staging did, there could actually be something really interesting about her voice. Could feel like that light that shines through in a dark
Absolutely.
place.
What comes to mind, how I would stage it, do you guys remember the movie Pan's Labyrinth?
Yes.
It's this like forest creature nymph who looks like scary.
Yeah.
It would have to be a drag costume like reveal, but like if that creature on stage with her turns into something beautiful.
Or even if they had like that creature, but it was like King Kong. She was like in the hand of the,
Yes.
the creature.
Yes.
And there's this element of like, there's hope because she can leave, but she's constrained. but-
Absolutely.
I do appreciate how much the music video reminds me of Alanis Morissette's Thank You.
Ah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I also thought of the end of Closer.
Totally.
With Natalie-
Yes. Portman.
Natalie Portman
And
walking.
Clive
Owen.
I
and
always
Julia
want to say Clive
Roberts.
Davis, and Clive Davis was not in that movie.
Quite.
I think the thing I always find interesting about the two of you is I think you have 98% the same taste.
Yeah, it's
And you really find in the 2% how to.
What's our percentage of connection?
Yes,
no one
just
can
doesn't
get
like
more
the conflict
heated about
between us.
disagreement on Eurovision song than the two of you.
Now, speaking of a song that you either like or you don't, one could say it's a vibe. This is Vibe.
Yeah.
The song Roa,
Yeah. It is.
representing Iceland.
And it's the lyrics are building a boat and sailing.
Well,
It's their only connection to the world. A boat.
The dancers
And
are
to
doing
be fair, they're not sailing. They're rowing.
the dancers are doing all of the work in this song because for me they are sweating, and it's not because they're wearing these astronaut suits.
I will say I do not believe those costumes breathe.
No, they don't. I will go to the garment district and grab that costume for you right now. So if we're talking about building a boat, there's nothing visual. I don't need you to build a boat on stage, but there is nothing visually that's telling me that. That is a circuit party performance
Yes.
that is literally just vibing.
I will come with some cultural context.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Because in Norway, we basically have a music genre that is high school graduation music.
I literally thought you were going to talk about how like
Building boats?
Yeah, that's Scandinavians. So like there are a lot of
We're
ports.
Vikings.
I was like, yeah. I was like, no, there is a big shipping industry. It's true.
We were Vikings. We have these songs.
In Norway, you're graduating year in high school, like everyone wears overalls for a month. People write messages on them. And then they have these huge gatherings. It's like Coachella, but only for high schoolers with very much like trance meets Europop kind of type of music. Rus is what it's called. And this is very much the center of what Rus music is. I have to admit, there's a little bit of nostalgia for me in this song.
Okay.
And that's the cultural context.
I appreciate it. And now that I know, I'm glad I did not grow up because that would have been the Debbie Downer and like this again.
Moving to Montenegro. We've got Nina Žižić with the song Dobrodošli.
Kako si ti, da li si dobro, gdje su sad svi, čisti pred Bogom, ko da su njeni, stoje bez riječi, oni što tu su, u zlu i u sreći.
She's got a beautiful, musky, strong voice, which I love from the get-go. To me, the visuals are just very simple. So if I don't understand the language, except for the shadows in the back, it's Screaming Ghost, the movie. So to me, is she like coming back from the dead? Is she like trying to bring spirits? That's what I'm getting from this.
The word Dobrodošli means welcome. And the song is welcoming us into the world of women's struggle.
The lyrics can be interpreted as anything from like illness to grief, but a lot of people have been reading the song as being about domestic abuse. The English translation, the night which is to blame wakes up, shamelessly rubs its tired eyes. Will it come or will it sleep? Red dawn comes to heal the wounds. Smile, endure everything. It will pass. It will disappear. It will stop. But when will it? I bid you welcome to the play about love.
So ironically, we have Switzerland and Montenegro talking about the same thing at opposite
Yeah,
ends.
yes, yeah.
But what I think what Montenegro does better is when the vocals match up with the lyrics better.
We are moving to Latvia. So this is Tautametas with Berman Lami.
I think visually, it's gorgeous. The silhouettes, the chain curtain, them walking through, the light shifts, these are fairies.
Yeah.
And the lyrics, it just goes hand in hand. I think it was beautifully done without being over the top.
100%.
I don't even know if it's chain. It might be just fringe, like fabric fringe. so
I actually
much.
think they took
It's
Blanca
fabric.
Paloma's curtains from.
Get out of here. Get out of here. I feel like I'm going on an acid trip with these girls.
Well,
and
can I
I'm
tell
okay
you
with
my
that.
favorite thing to do with this song is just
Go
like
on an
put it
acid
on
trip.
loop and take mushrooms
Oh.
and just like let the harmonies wash over me, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
this is amazing.
Whatever was washing over you during that was not harmonies.
I don't know.
Maybe it was the milkshake man.
There's a lot of repetition in the song because of the vocal arrangements, but curses and hexes, never can they ruin me. Others are making a bridge of steel. I'm helping an oak to grow. The bridge of steel turns to rust. My oak grows evergreen. So we get this nature versus modernity. We get this.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, my name is Pixie. That's why I'm like connected to these dark fairies.
We're going to be in Basel, and then we're going to be like, wait, who is that wood nymph on stage?
with you.
It's like one of them has been injured, and we have a standby coming in.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, it might be the best staging.
Another point of agreement here. How about
Yeah,
that?
it's them in Iceland, I think.
And
Yeah.
on that note,
Yes.
Pixie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
This
much.
was really incredible.
EuroVerse.
Thank you so much to Sissal. Thank you so much to Beatrice and Cole from Shkodra Elektronike.
Yeah.
And thank you so much to Pixie Aventura for all stopping by the podcast this week. We also have to thank the people who showed up to the live so far.
And if you are interested in showing up to a live, we still have 2 more, I should say. If you're listening the day this comes out, it's tomorrow, Thursday, the 24th. And then our grand finale featuring this week's guest, Pixie Aventura.
Live on stage.
Live on stage. What number will she do on May 1st?
Just to give you a little update, we have gone through half of the songs.
Yes.
Week 1, the winner was the Netherlands.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie. And week 2, the winner was, on this very episode, Shkodra Elektronike.
Yes.
So let's see who ends up the winners of week 3 and 4 and who is the big winner of the whole shebang.
Yes. If you are as passionate as Pixie is about Eurovision songs, you are going to want to show up to make sure that your favorite gets its due.
And also, I will say, I have been doing another season of covering current Eurovision songs
Yes.
during these. They're not on the episode, but you can find them on the social medias.
Yeah.
The first week, I did cover Sissal on this very episode,
Yeah.
Hallucination. And week 2, I covered JJ's Wasted Love and really got to revisit my operatic falsetto.
Yes. It was very, very impressive, though. I am still disappointed that we did not get your cover of Zjerm.
Yeah, I have to work a little bit on those pronunciations. But if you're not in New York City, there will, of course, be another episode next week.
Yes.
And until then,
Happy Eurovision.